Now, I tell the story of my wife's last day because she passed away from alcoholism about 4.5 years ago. I guess the actual date was February 21st of 2020. And I tell it as a deterrent for others because if you've been drinking for years or decades, this is really the path you're going to go down. There is no deviation from this. Our bodies are made up of organic material, and if you put toxicity into it on a regular basis and that volume increases, it's going to affect you physically and mentally and emotionally. It's going to destroy any relationship you have. It's going to obviously destroy your health, your productivity, and your reason as a human being. There really is no deviation from that. So let's continue the conversation as I tell the story of my wife's last day. And it was a very, very difficult day because I got a call the night before she died when I was working, and they said that she wasn't going to make it. That she had had a dozen operations. They had gone in continually to try to clean out the infection in her body. Most of her organs had a very high degree of infection, and eventually it had affected her heart, liver, pancreas, intestinal tract, and even her brain, obviously. But the thing is, they had called me the day before and essentially said she had about a day left. So I realized I was going to go in the next morning. I lived about 100 miles from UCLA, where she had spent 28 days in the intensive care unit. I had visited her a number of times. My son was in college, and he stayed in college. He was about 500 miles north, and there really wasn't any reason to pull him out of college to go see his mother, who was essentially in a comatose state. So on the last day, this is what happened. So I got a call. It was about 7 in the morning, 7:30 maybe. I don't remember, but they called and they said, "Are you coming in this morning?" I said, "Yes." I planned on going in the next hour, and they said, "Well, her body's starting to break down a little bit quicker than we thought. That day that we said that she might have really turns into maybe she only has about an hour left." And I said, "An hour?" Okay, I thought I had like quite a bit of time to go see her. I go, "Well, I live 100 miles away, and there's no way I'm going to be able to get there in an hour." I go, "Well, we'll try and hold on, to keep her alive until that time, but you need to get here as soon as possible." And I just about freaked out. I'm like, "Wow, this is really it." And on the last day, I actually called her family, or my family, actually, her side of the family. And her sister went, and her mother went, and one of her nieces went. And I met them there, and I went with a friend, actually. Amanda's one of her best friends at the time, and we drove in together. And it was 100 miles, and really the whole way we were just I was driving as fast as I could, but through LA traffic, it was pretty crazy. And it just dawned on me that, through all the craziness that we'd been through, this was going to be the last day. And you can really see it coming, though. And I think maybe the alcoholic doesn't realize what's going on, but, certainly as a family member, you realize that this was going to be the end long, long before it actually happened, because you can put so many barriers up. I mean, she went to 7 rehabs, multiple outpatient facilities, court ordered and voluntary. The problem is she didn't really do her follow up work, unfortunately, and she just continued to drink nonstop, no matter what barrier you put in front of her. You mean everything from taking away car keys and bank accounts, and I mean there was no barrier for her to get alcohol, and um, I was always just amazed at the her creativity and the ways that she was able to get it. But from a family standpoint, you could see it coming from a very, very long, long way. So when I did arrive with my friend, we got there, and then her family was there within about 10 minutes later. And they immediately, we just decided she was still alive. Incredibly, she was still alive. And it took us, gosh, a good 2.5, 3 hours to get there. LA's a crazy drive to get there. But we immediately decided that it was time. We unplugged the machines. There was probably 5 or 6 different ones. I'm not even sure what they all were. She was on kidney dialysis, breathing machines, all be just up there's the room was filled with machines trying to keep her alive, and she already looked like she was gone. I mean, her eyes were half masked. She did not look like a person who was living. But ultimately, the toxic shock, I think, from all the infection, and then her heart, really the alcohol had really infected her heart more than anything, and the low blood pressure really was the demise. And it was a very sad day. But I tell this story really as a deterrent, because this is the story, that you're going to go through, and this is what you're going to put your family through ultimately, if you are suffering from alcohol use disorder. And I hope you're able to figure it out if you're an alcoholic before you get into the denial and the deflection and really the narcissistic tendencies that alcoholics become. It's a very self-centered, self-fulfilling type of disease. And I hope you, for the sake of yourself and your family and your lineage, are able to figure out a way. And I hope this page, some way, helps you to recognize the problem that you have and to do something about it. And again, I go live Monday through Friday right around 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. I also have a complete coaching program. It's called There's an Alcoholic in the Family. It's really designed to help families and alcoholics. Set up a Zoom call, takes about 45 minutes. Now, the call is free. The coaching program, which I will go over with you, is definitely not free, but I'm interested in finding people who are ready to change their lives and the lives of their family. And again, thanks so much for listening.